Everyone, do not adjust your set. You are watching the best, coolest, most entertaining, funniest, populated by attractive hosts program available on Channel 16. It is Beers and Beards. We are totally unscripted, talking all kinds of cool stuff you guys are into, just like us. Football, wrestling,
comics,
Walking Dead,
movies.
comics. Got the Jim Reaper today. I might bail when that dude gets around. He gives me the creeps. He's going to recommend some movies for us. But, as we like to say at the start of every show, as we get to know you once again and you get to know us, I am Super Jimmy Be Damned.
I am Ultimate Don't Be Like Ryan.
And you were watching Beers and Beards. What do you got to start the show for us today, big man?
Man, this week we have seen lots in the world of sports. We've seen the Cowboys continue their winning ways. We've seen the Seahawks go off into obscurity. We have seen the Steelers potentially save their season, and we've seen Bob's leg get eaten. But one thing that we saw over the weekend, Peyton Manning beating Brett Favre's passing record.
5'10".
Yeah, oh yeah, and impressive as it was, we also saw DeMarco Murray take Jim Brown's record for the most consecutive games to start a season with 100+ rushing yards.
Very impressive.
Something that both feats have not been done in a while. Probably won't be done ever again. But what's your take? 50-50. Which one's more important?
Now, I know you're not going to like this. I'm going to lean all the way toward my man Peyton over here, simply because he has broken this record. There's a lot of football left in 2014. Dude might have another 2 years. He might have another 3 years. Where does that record wind up, and who can catch him?
That's true.
Somebody's got to start as a rookie, stay healthy, stay productive, and churn out some serious touchdowns. I'm going to go all Peyton. Now, I'm going to say that at the end of the year, if your boy can go ahead and top Eric Dickerson as well as Jim Brown, then we got another discussion to have. Right now, as impressive as DeMarco has been, I'm going with Peyton and 5'10", just because I don't know where that number is going to wind up.
Now, you know, obviously
600, who knows, man?
Obviously, I'm going the opposite way. I think with DeMarco Murray hasn't been done since Jim Brown. It's a record, one of those records that people don't even expect nobody to break season to season. I think for a while people seen that Peyton Manning was slowly approaching this record, even last season. Slowly approaching the record, and he finally got it. Kudos to Peyton. I'm being a homer. I'm going 100% DeMarco Murray. But speaking of homers, my next question involves what I'm dubbing the Seahawkalypse.
Protect yourself.
I'm telling you right now, we called it on the show. I said that the Seahawks would never, ever be the same again. And what we got going on is Percy Harvin got sent from the Seahawks to the New York Jets in a midweek trade. Surprised the entire NFL football nation.
Shocked me.
First question I'm going to ask, especially considering that you guys just took a L to the division rival St. Louis Rams, are the Seattle Seahawks, by virtue of trading Percy Harvin, packing it in this season?
No,
what the hell is going on over there?
They think it's addition by subtraction. It looked like it in the second half. The passing game has not looked better this season. Kick returns, different story. I do still think 500 team, a lot of football left to be played. Offense, as much as the defense has faltered this year, has been a revelation.
True.
Seattle is okay.
True.
They think they got better by shipping Percy away. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to find out, and I still like their chances, even if it was a bit of a downgrade.
Well, then let's flip the coin to the other side of that trade. The Jets get Percy Harvin. Do you think that the Jets, who have been ridiculed all year long, including the offseason, for the lack of moves that they made, do you think that the Jets have done enough to win this, done enough to convince their fans that they want to win this year?
They're better on paper. Okay, I've said a couple of times this week, as much as Seattle fans may miss Percy, Geno Smith will miss him more. I just don't know with that passing game if it's going to be a whole lot different. Supposedly Percy wants more action in the passing game, and when I look at Geno Smith at quarterback, I think that if the Jets are going to make him into a playmaker, they got to do the same stuff. They got to run sweeps, stunts, gadgets. I still don't know if he is going to be a big-time player like he wants to be apparently in the passing game. And if all the other off-the-field stuff is true, man, I don't know if Geno's the guy dealing with everything else he's dealing with right now. I don't know if he needs that in the locker room. So better on paper, Should get some more firepower out of Percy on offense. As far as what it does or doesn't do for the Jets, man, it's the Jets. I just don't know.
Well, according to my sources, Percy Harvin is right now at the moment asking Geno Smith to give him the damn ball.
Probably.
And
at least
also,
he hasn't hit anybody yet.
Well, and that's great for Rex Ryan. And also, according to my sources, we're about to take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back afterwards with our Who You Got segment. And I'm going to ask Jimmy the eternal question. Who you got?
Guys, Waterfront IPA is the beer we're drinking today. Football, Hell in a Cell, Walking Dead, Jim Reaper. Stay with us. You're watching Beers and Beards.
Know it.
Remember me from now to infinity. On top till you're sick of me. Top headline, rocking for centuries. All times now, you get yours eventually, but y'all gon' remember me.
Those who rise against us will be destroyed. Those who have achieved an elevated existence, raise your fists. Raise your fist.
Guys, we're back. We are drinking Waterfront IPA and enjoying it. That's our beer of the week.
Oh, yeah.
We are about to get into the NFL slate. Thursday night football is behind us. We had San Diego going to Denver to play the Broncos. I went with the Chargers. You went with Denver. The first game coming up for us this weekend on Sunday. You guys will be watching it tomorrow alongside us. The Lions visit the Falcons. Two teams have been a little up and down.
That's true.
Who you got?
Man, we're talking about, I think it's a London game, right?
This is true. I think he's got a crazy,
Yeah, 9.
morning start time.
Which is great for my Sunday, by the way. Get it started off real early. And plus, I don't have neither one of these guys on my fantasy team, so it's not going to mess anything up. But you guys remember, set your lineups. I'm going with the Falcons. They're bad. They're 2-5. I get that. Technically, these teams are both on the road this week. But Atlanta's the home team, and I got to think at some point they're going to win a game. This is that week. Who you got?
Home field advantage in London. I'm going with the Lions. These are two teams that, like many teams this year, what you see one week, you may not see the next. You probably won't see the next.
True.
Picking football was crazy in 2014. We're at odds here, but coming up, we've got 3 games at 1 o'clock where we're seeing things the same way. We got the Vikings traveling to the Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers.
I'm going Buccaneers. You are too. Next.
First time we picked them this year, I believe. Buffalo goes to New Jersey to play the Jets with Percy Harvin. Does he make a difference?
I think this week, not much, but just enough of a difference. We're both going Jets. What about you? Next.
No running backs healthy for the Bills. Chicago goes to New England to play the Patriots. Talk about a team we can't figure out this year. That's Chicago. Are you rolling with them against Tom and Bill?
And you know something? It would be so great if John Reinhold heard us say that we were going to back his Bears, but unfortunately, Bears suck. Yeah, I said it. The Bears. Next.
There's money on the table. Reinhold isn't picking the Bears this week.
Oh,
We've
no.
got the Seattle Seahawks going to Carolina to play the Panthers. These are two teams that a lot of people thought were playoff, not just pretenders or might make it, but contenders. One of them will have a losing record. They're both 3-3. Carolina's got a tie in the mix as well, but somebody has a losing record after this game. Who you got?
You know, I'm really surprised you're not going to be at this one, being that it's so close. But I don't think the score is going to be so close. I'm taking the Panthers. Even though they don't have no running backs, even though they might not have a stud at receiver this week, I'm still taking the Panthers. Yeah, mostly because I'm smelling the Seahawkalypse. And we seen it the first week with the Dallas Cowboys, and if I'd have said it then, which I did call technically I called it the Seahawk Apocalypse, and you coined the Seahawkalypse. Yep. But realistically, we're talking about a Seahawks team without Percy Harvin. We're talking about a Seahawks team that looks shaky on defense. And we're talking about a Seahawks team that if they don't get back to what made them the Seahawks, which is essentially running the ball, this week they're going to get run all over on. Jimmy, do I got to ask?
I've been to Carolina the past 2 seasons to see Seattle play there and win by less than a touchdown. 2 close defensive games.
Yep.
But these are both teams that have kind of lost their way on defense. Our problems we've discussed in depth. Carolina just to me seems like they're just really missing Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
I'm going with Seattle, and I think we might actually get a bigger point spread this time because I think we can put some points on the board. Carolina's struggling to find playmakers right now, so I take the Hawks. No surprise there. There's no Seahawkalypse. I'm still a believer. We've got a lot more NFL action to pick coming back from the break. We've got wrestling. We've got The Walking Dead. Jim Reaper's in the house. We're drinking beer. We're having fun. You stick with us, guys.
You know it.
Beers and Beards. We are racing through the NFL schedule because we've got a lot to cover this week. We are fumbling, bumbling, stumbling, hopefully not getting rim job. We're drinking beer. We're having a great time. And that's the name of the show, man. We're totally unscripted. We're Beers and Beards. We drink. We have fun. So if we get the names wrong, you'll forgive us. If you're drinking like we are, you won't even notice. Continuing with NFL action on Sunday, we've got Miami visiting their close neighbors in Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. And hey, they're not winless anymore. Can they get another one?
Not this week. I think we are both in agreement. We were sleeping last week. We didn't see the Dolphins coming out the gate as strong as they did. This week, we're looking with a lot better perspective. We're both going to Dolphins.
Picked against them, but I started Tannehill and Mike Wallace in fantasy, so go figure. Worked out well for me on that end.
I hear that.
Next up, Baltimore, divisional matchup against Cincinnati, who I have swore an oath against here on this program.
Yep.
And yet here I am picking them.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Are you flip-flopping?
It's not in prime time. It's not a playoff game.
That's true.
So that
But
that
it's
helps.
against a playoff team, a perennial playoff team.
Perennial, I don't know about this year. I'm still not buying it, man.
Listen,
they're
bro,
looking sharp, though. And
I'm going to tell you
making
right
waves.
now, in that division, the Ravens are the most likely team to win that division. They're consistent on offense. Their offense has consistent playmakers. Steve Smith, Torrey Smith, and one of my fantasy backs, Forsythe. That's Justin Forsett. I'm going with the Ravens because I think that they have more guns, and I don't know if A.J. Green's coming out for the Bengals, but I don't really think it's going to make that much of a difference. I'm going with the Ravens.
I do not like the Bengals.
Well,
I do
you
not want to pick the
you
Bengals.
you say
I feel
you don't like them,
obligated.
but you just
I
picked them.
picked them. All right. Houston travels to Tennessee, also at 1 o'clock. Any chance that the Titans get it done?
There is a train rolling through. Written on the side of that train is next.
We go with Houston. Hopefully they do us better than they did on Monday night last week.
Yeah.
Next up, St. Louis off their big win, traveling to Kansas City. Can they take down the Chiefs? Do you think they've got another fake punt, fake kickoff return?
And they would need a fake punt, a fake kickoff return, and a fake leg to be able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going with the Chiefs. Looks like you are too. Next.
Rams use it all up. Philadelphia at 4:05 travels to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. You've been repping Philly all year.
Have I?
You've talked well about Philly, your NFC's competition.
Now listen.
Do you think they can take the Cardinals down a peg or
Now
two?
listen, I'm going to tell you what it is with me and Philly. I have not been repping Philly. I have been studying Philly, recognizing what they have and what they don't. And unfortunately, they don't have enough to win this game. I'm going with Arizona at home because by virtue of the defense, but mostly because Philly can't play two halves the same football. No.
Philly's inconsistent. For some reason, I like them in this game. Arizona, the favorite team. I feel like I'm picking an upset. Some Philly fans may not see it that way. I go with the Eagles. We're going to pick one more before we go to break because it looks like it's another case of us being on the same page. We got the Indianapolis Colts going to take on those Steelers. Look good on Monday night, but they look good one week, not so good the next week thus far in 2014. Do we see this week any differently?
This week, it looks very similar. The Steelers, they have not figured out their identity. They don't know if they're a passing team or a running team, and the defense can't do two things in the same game to save the game. We're both going Colts, am I correct? What are you guys going? Won't you hit us up on the Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr?
Hashtag who you got. Let us know what you're thinking. We take a commercial break. We drink more Waterfront IPA, and we return with more football, wrestling, Walking Dead, Jim Reaper. Who
you got?
Hey, Southern Virginia, do you need a commercial for your business? Well, Animate Now is the response to all your business marketing. We provide animation, presentations, professionalism, and solid competitive compositions and services, which include digital production, commercials, short films, movies, and motion graphics. Our cinematography covering your marketing is an essential resource for a good company. And as good workers, we provide every creative service. For more info, visit us at www.animatenow.com.
You are still watching Beers and Beards. A few more NFL games to pick for you. We're still at 4:25 on Sunday. We've got the Oakland Raiders looking for that breakthrough. Does it happen in Cleveland when they face the Browns?
And you know something? The Raiders have come out competitively. If there's a game that they could win, it may be this week, but I forgot. We're talking about those Cleveland Browns. They let us down last week. At least they let me down. And this week, hopefully they won't because I think we're both picking the Browns.
I'm picking the Browns mainly because they're not the Raiders.
I hear that.
Sunday night, 8:30.
Upset.
The Packers travel
Upset.
to New Orleans to take on the Saints. This game sounded a whole lot better 6 or 7 weeks ago before we saw who the New Orleans Saints were going to be in 2014, but it's still a Sunday night game. It's at home. If they're going to swing this thing, it has to start now. Do you buy in?
No. You know how they say when the Saints come marching in? Well, this week there's going to be some Packers marching from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And they're walking back to Green Bay with that dub. We're going with the Packers, which brings us to perhaps the most scrutinized and talked about game of this young season, at least in this area it is, were those pesky, scrubby need to change their name, Washington Redskins come down to Dallas and take on the Cowboys. Well, how about them Cowboys? I'm going to ask you, Jimmy, it's Cowboys-Redskins, Monday Night Football. The Redskins are suiting up. Colt McCoy, Jimmy, who you got?
Colt McCoy has one word, 5 letters for the Redskins faithful, RELAX. Relax. Wait, that was Aaron Rodgers.
That was
Green
Aaron
Bay,
Rodgers.
right?
This is
Colt
not
McCoy,
Green Bay.
Washington Redskins.
Panic.
I kind of want to pick them just because these are two teams. When one of them is pretty and one of them is ugly, sometimes when you put that together, you get the wrong results.
Yeah.
It's that type of rivalry.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some magic to be had with this Colt McCoy kid and those Washington Redskins. I can't see it happening. I'm going to go with your Dallas Cowboys. I do believe that you're overselling and the price is going to come down, but not this week. I think that you guys get a big win. And Colt McCoy, man, he might be looking at Kirk Cousins like, why don't you go back out there and have a little fun? I think I'm good for a while.
I will tell you unequivocally, and it has taken a while for me to be able to say this, but finally, the wins have come back to Dallas.
I had a lot more fun doing this show last year. I don't know why.
Yeah, we're both going with the Cowboys, even though we think the Redskins will give them a game, but they ain't got enough game to beat the Cowboys.
Not happening. Not happening. We will take a commercial break. We have put the NFL in our rearview mirror. Those of you who follow us online can look for more in-depth commentary on that Redskins-Dallas Cowboys game online, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. The rest of you should give us shouts out there anyway. We like to know what you're thinking, whether you agree, disagree, want to hate on us, want to love on us, want to buy us beer, perhaps. We take a commercial break. We come back. Wrestling, Walking Dead, Jim Reaper's in the house. Stay with us.
Who you got? Beers&Beards, Don't Be Like Ryan.
I am the Jim Reaper.
Jimmy B. Dam is taking a quick commercial break real quick.
He's never around when I'm around. I don't understand.
Well,
Writes horror novels, but he's afraid of me?
Be honest with you, these two are skulls, and that one isn't even skull enough to face it.
Who the heck?
We are talking The Walking Dead.
You're all the Walking Dead to me.
I'm sure that you guys loved the show and checked it out last week like we did. It's one of the Jim Reaper's favorite shows. But pretty much anything dead is one of Jim Reaper's favorite shows. But Jim Reaper, let's get right down into it. The Walking Dead, good episode. But what are the 3 things you walked away from it with?
3 things. 1, I've been very worried about poor little Miss Elizabeth. I've sat up nights wondering, what happened to the girl? Where is she? Kind of hope she's dead. Maybe we'll find out before long because Daryl and Carol are on the case. Daryl and Carol. Rhymes, both badasses. I like it. I want to see where it's going. Father Gabriel. He's a man of the cloth. He can't be trusted. 3 out of every 4 of them are no good. We need to be done with him. Rick and the gang need to move on. Trust me on this. I've seen it happen 1,000,001 times. Finally, cannibalism. Hooray! Cannibalism is great for network television or any type of television as far as I'm concerned. And I thought that the most moving moment of the show had me giggling, reaching for the Kleenex, was when Bob saw them eating his own leg. It was absolutely disgusting and as such, totally beautiful. Cannibalism.
And you know, we called it last week here on the show. Well, not me and you, but me and Jimmy B. Dam, who's on commercial break at the moment. We called it. We said, Bob watch. Walking Dead, there can't be 2 black guys on the show at the same time. So it looks like Bob's on his way out, coincidentally, when Father Gabriel shows up. But we still got Tyrese. So my bet is we shouldn't trust Father Gabriel.
Tyrese is a big softy, by the way.
He can be a softy, but he will last on the show, probably because of that. Father Gabriel, I don't trust him. I don't see him lasting long. Bob, I'm pretty sure the cap on it is next episode. He's kaputs. But we love The Walking Dead. We love talking The Walking Dead. We love tweeting The Walking Dead. Won't you hit us up on the Twitter at Don't Be Like Ryan? I don't think he has Twitter, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to be wanting to send 140 characters that way. Hit my boy up, Jimmy B. Dam, and also hit us up
Twitter.
at Beers and Beards.
We've got souls to steal. We don't have time for Twitter.